This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
You know that feeling when someone shows up for you just when you need it most? That's what Uber is all about. Not just a ride or dinner at your door. It's how Uber helps you show up for the moments that matter. Because showing up can turn a tough day around or make a good one even better. Whatever it is, big or small, Uber is on the way. So you can be on yours. Uber, on our way.
It's time for the show that brings the magic right to your speakers. Ears Up!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ears Up Podcast. We are back. And let me tell you, we are talking in depth as much as we can about the new Hollywoodland announcement over in DCA. We covered it on our secret show, which was pushed out last week. And because it was kind of fresh news, but I wanted to rehash it again because not everybody who listened to the show was able to hear the secret show because they're not Patreon supporters. But if you want to, you can go back and listen to it. You can be a Patreon subscriber for as little as $5 a month. And that really, really does help. I say it all the time at the end of the shows, but I'll say it at the beginning of the shows because why not right now? $5 a month, you can go back and grab all our secret shows. But this one was a pretty good in-depth, dive into our opinions on Avatar Land and what it's going to be. And then, over the course of the last couple of days, I've seen, just some comments online or whatever that kind of bring a fresh perspective. So I copied those down, and we're going to talk a little bit about the new information that I have, which isn't much. So don't get too excited. But then just talk in general about the Avatar Land coming to Hollywoodland because it's important. And, that's what we do. So we're talking about it again. So if you've heard the secret show and, you're now listening to this and you're like, geez, Louise, guys, get a grip on yourselves. It won't be the same conversation, mainly because Taryn isn't here right now. And she was hating. Woo.
Man, she was on fire.
Man, she was going for it. But that's okay. But anyway, so we're going to be talking about that. And then after the break, Eric is going to come on. He's already on, but he's going to come back from the break with us. I don't know where I'm going with this. And we're going to be talking about
take a nap after the break.
You're released. We're going to be talking about the Cars takeover of Tom Sawyer's Island over in Walt Disney World. That's what I wrote. I just wrote Tom Island. I'm like, I know who I'm talking about.
That works.
Yeah. Which is something I'm upset about, even though when we went to Disney World, we didn't go to Tom Island and to Tom Collins Island, where you have to drink Tom Collins when you're there. We didn't go because, what's the point? But it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. But Eric's going to be talking a little bit about that and the history of what they wanted to do or something, Eric. I'm trying to tease.
Oh, yeah.
Tease
decades ago, 50 years ago.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds epic, man.
Yeah, there we go. You know what? My last set of notes was entitled Epic Universal. My notes for this episode, Epic Disney Updates.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
Wait, the chat's making fun of me. Is it not Tom Sawyer's Island over there? In Disney World?
It is. What are they?
I don't know. Brian's making fun of me. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he's making fun of
Tom Sawyer's Island.
Yeah.
It's not. Well, it's at Walt Disney World. It's not the pirate business.
No, it's Tom Sawyer's Island. Uh-oh. Well, I think I messed up. So whatever.
We're going to bulldoze it, okay, people? Who cares what it's called?
Yeah, we're going to appropriate it, just like the word Xerox or aspirin.
You're putting a possessive in there? Oh, no.
Oh, Lord. That's like when I tell my wife when this store was open, she goes, I'm going to go to Joann's Fabrics. I go, no, it's Joanne. It's not Joann's. It's not a
they're bankrupt
form.
now, too.
They're bankrupt, yeah. But just get out of here. It's Tom Sawyer Island. Doesn't make any sense. Who cares?
I'm not a historian, okay?
Yeah,
I'm not part of this crew now.
I'm not a linguist. I'm stupid. But anyway, let's dig in a little bit to before we dig into Hollywoodland again. If you want to go to any of these places that we're talking about, if you want to go to Tom Sawyer Island, which is really just a guy named Tom was in love with Sawyer from Lost, and he made a whole island based around that character.
Man, I'd hang out there for a bit.
A lot of cigarettes, a lot of old carburetors and exhaust pipes, and abuse.
Southern wisdom.
Yeah, it's Southern indifference. Yeah, ride the Southern indifference coaster, which may or may not work, and you may or may not get a refund. It depends on what's going on. Then you get the aggressive affection coaster, where you get to chase women who are also indifferent to you, and then you end up getting married or something. I don't know. That show was confusing to me.
Toward the end, yeah.
Well, yeah. But if you want to go to any of these places I'm going to be talking about today, visit our friends over at Concierge. You go to concierge.com because they are the experts at getting you and your family or your friends, or, and I'd say this very lightly, both, who knows, over to one of these two parks, or kind of anywhere, really. They can vacation plan wherever you want, but they are the experts at the park. So they can help you not only navigate the parks and figure out where to go and what to do. Maybe you haven't been to one in a while and you hear a lot of updates about it. But they can help you figure out, they can help you plan your day. They can help you do the whole lightning lane thing. So who knows, man? You know what I mean? It's kind of, Disney throws a lot of stuff at you. And you got to be quick with it. And if you don't care, like I don't care about some of this stuff, I'm like, I'm not interested in this, even though from a journalistic standpoint, probably should be. I just don't know. I just don't care. Right. Like I'm not trying to regurgitate all information that I hear about Disneyland, only the stuff that I like or hate. But if I'm indifferent about it, you probably won't hear about it. So if you want,
that's why I'm here.
That's right. That's right. Yes. Eric is captain middle of the road.
Would you like to hear a list of names?
Do they involve Disney? No. They're just names that I really enjoy.
Only the last one.
I like the following names. So they can help you make reservations in the parks. They can help you make restaurant reservations. They can help you do a bunch of stuff. So all the stuff that you want to do in the parks, they can make sure you get there. And it's all no extra charge, not anything else other than what the parks would charge you for doing the same stuff. And in a lot of cases, the Concierge offers services that the parks don't, such as help with stuff like that. You have a question, you call the parks, you listen to that dumb music. On hold, you got to explain your thing or whatever. But Concierge, you can text people, dude. You know what I mean? You can email.
You can't text Disney.
Thing. You can't text Disney. Well, actually, you can text Bob Iger. His number, I've figured it out. It's 707-489 Iger.
Oh, that was his downfall. I'm glad he gets that one first.
The vanity telephone number. That's going to be it, man. Anyway, our first segment here today is talking about the Hollywoodland. I was about to say expansion, but it's really shrinkflation, deconstruction,
reassignment,
construction. Yeah, for sure. And that's going away. Hollywoodland is going away in DCA. It is official. It was announced a couple of weeks ago. And in its place, will be Avatar Land. Now, when this was announced, that Avatar Land was coming last year. I think it was at D23 last year.
Right.
Where DeMauro was like, and here we go, as part of Disneyland Forward, Avatar Land. You're going to set sail on the seas of Avatar Land and do Avatar Land guy stuff. And everyone was like, what? Oh, that movie. Yeah, that's right. That movie that came out.
Oh, that movie that made $1 billion.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay, great. And that's kind of it. And then we didn't know where it was going to go. We assumed it was going to be part of Disneyland Forward because I think that's what they said. So it was going to be like across kind of over maybe by the Disneyland Hotel where they're doing a bunch of stuff. But recently they came out and said, no. Nay. It's going to be going in Hollywoodland. And everybody who's in love with the Monsters, Inc. ride cried. They let out a big solitary shriek, a cry, a wail, if you will, And then it was silenced. Yeah, so Hollywoodland is going away, pretty much. We're not entirely clear about how much is going away. There's a lot of debate online about if the Hyperion Theater is going or not. Some people say yes, some people say no, but the people who say no and the people who say yes are just getting the information from YouTubers who don't know either. Like, we don't know.
Former Imagineers who are saying, I don't think it's going to go away.
There are right. Because what's happening is Disney, it works on so many different projects. So even though you're getting, like, we used to make fun of Terrence all the time on the shows because he's like, well, I tell you what, Hollywoodland's going to go away and Marvel Land will be right there. And we're like, no, dude, you're crazy. There's no way they're going to get rid of Monsters, Inc. That would be insane. He goes, I'm telling you, I got inside information. I'm not saying he was ever wrong necessarily. That's probably the information he received from his friend who works there, but clearly he's wrong. But I think that's maybe part of the problem where some people who used to work at Disney or who work at Disney now are kind of leaking stuff or whatever, and these YouTubers take it and run with it just for content purposes, and then that's how stuff gets out. So then people go on Reddit and go, well, my YouTuber, Bricks Across the Promenade 49 says that this is going to happen. It's like, yeah.
Well, you got to have stuff like that. Otherwise, how would Disney YouTube survive?
It wouldn't, and I wouldn't care.
There's a whole industry on this, on people just saying things that they heard other people say.
Yes.
And we're doing it too.
Well, I mean, are we really? Kind of, not really.
I don't know. I don't know what you're about to say.
I'm just reporting the facts of what Disney has said.
Oh,
you know
of course,
what I mean? Yeah.
Of course.
So, Hyperion Theater, nobody knows for sure because that's kind of like the edge of Hollywoodland, and then you get into, which I guess is going to be now like Marvel Land because it butts right up with Tower of Terror, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it would be great if they did something with that theater. It's a giant theater. It's got technology inside. They've done really good shows in there.
Do they not do any shows anymore?
Nothing. There's nothing. The last thing they did was Rogers the Musical, which I really wanted to see, but they did it for like a month.
Huh. Must not have got the attention because they killed Aladdin, which everyone cried about. I never saw it, but like supposedly that was the hottest thing in the world. That Aladdin show is great. Right.
And then they did a Frozen show after that.
That's right. They did, didn't they?
And everybody cried because you couldn't get topical references from the genie anymore.
Okay. All right.
And then, then they did Rogers the Musical. But they said from the start this was going to be a limited engagement based off of that Hawkeye TV show that they did a few years ago around Christmas time. It was a great reference, and I can't believe they actually did it. Like, they pulled it off. That's a hilarious gag, but...
It is, because that is such a large amount of money and effort to throw at a limited run thing, because you don't think of Disney doing stuff like that. Of doing, right. You know what I mean? Like that's a ton of money when they're cutting stuff on budgets left, right, and center.
And that's it. They don't do as much live stuff anymore. They've been cutting things out of the Avengers area where like all of the live stuff that they would do, the Dora Milaje would come out and do this whole, training exercise. And they had all the little shows up on the Avengers Tower next to the Quinjet where you'd see, whatever villain fighting a few of the Avengers. They did all this stuff, and all that's going away. The Doctor Strange show, which was cool because it was all visual effects live in front of you.
Yeah.
It was cool stuff. That's what was good about the land. And people complain, well, the land is nothing because there's an attraction nobody wants to go to, a restaurant that people like, a few food carts and stuff. But like you were there for the shows, because if you hung around for 5 minutes, something else would start. You had the Spider-Man, robot swinging overhead. Like that was cool.
Yeah.
They did all this really great stuff. And then they're like, yeah, we don't want to pay actors because you know what happened last time we paid actors? They went on strike.
Well, that'll happen, man.
Like, come on, just pay the frozen head of Walt, a little bit extra this month, and he'll get distracted. He won't notice that there's another strike going on. He won't threaten to come out of hibernation and break this strike too.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what's people are kind of when the news broke, that's what everybody was really kind of talking about is what's going to happen, what exactly is going to go. And, it's sort of it feels like you're not going to get rid of the animation studio or anything in that building, what off the page is there and, the cool restrooms and stuff like that. Yeah, they're not going to I don't think they're going to touch any of that nonsense. And then
is Schmoozy's safe?
I don't know. People are talking about it. People are talking about it even last year. Like, well, I will just die if Schmoozy's gets moved. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, they got a lot of land to work with. And in addition to that, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be moving that land and they're going to be moving that land into where the buses come. So they're kind of kicking out a little bit more land, rearranging the opening of the park itself. So DCA will get bigger, which is cool. I like that about DCA. I think that's fun for everybody. But what's going to go there, we're not really entirely sure. They've released some concept art and there's like some models and stuff that have been out where there's big rocks and I don't really know. It's from the second movie. So even as far back as last year when all this stuff was announced, there were, here I got a quote. Imagineer Ali Rubenstein said about the new land, quote, "We are taking our guests to a whole new location on Pandora. As you know, our land in Florida is set in a rainforest amongst the floating mountains, which feels like we're stepping into the first Avatar film. For our new destination, we are inspired by the second movie and the upcoming Fire and Ash and future Avatar films. It will be at a scale and a level that is worthy of these epic stories. An innovative new attraction will bring all the action, all the excitement of Avatar in a new and thrilling way. Along the way, we'll discover dense forests, taking all the way to the wide open seas of Pandora. But while this world can be beautiful, if we lose our way, it can also be dangerous. This is going to be a dynamic, intense, emotional experience on a grand scale. We know all our guests are going to love it."
They know it.
Emotional. All right, man. Whatever. So that's what's happening. So we're getting forests, we're getting an ocean. It doesn't seem like there's a ton of like area to do that, to be honest with you. And the big circular rock work that we've seen, that kind of looks like a funnel torn apart.
Right.
That's going to be, I'm interested to see where all this stuff is going.
It's got to be some forced perspective, right?
It's got to be.
You can't walk in it.
Well, and how do they even position it? Because I've seen some concept art where it seems like the back of that thing is kind of pointed at the entrance and it's like the front is kind of like facing a Grizzly Peak, for lack of a better, object to orient itself. Which, I guess makes sense, but it just, I don't know. It seems like a lot. It seems like a lot of, I don't know, a lot of ground to cover in a small area. They want to pack a lot of stuff. So one or two show buildings.
It's ambitious. I mean, they've got those giant warehouses that are basically show buildings anyway.
Right.
I guess that's part of it. But yeah, I don't know, because I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. But even when they started working on Avatar in Animal Kingdom,
yeah,
it's like, wait, they're gonna. No, I've seen those movies. It's like it's gigantic, or at the time that movie, like there's this wide open vista, but walking in there, like, oh, they did one major set piece, and that made the entire place look awesome. Like,
yes.
You've been there, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I haven't been there.
But you've at least seen the pictures. You come around the corner and there's a floating mountain up in the sky, and
yeah.
All that stuff. Like it pays off on the promise. Now they did have an awful lot of space. It is weird driving up to the park where you could see the backside of it, but it's kind of like people complained about Galaxy's Edge. Oh, you could see the backside of the mountains. They didn't construct the entire thing. They already did that in Animal Kingdom years ago. You're like, oh, there's a floating mountain. I'm looking at a warehouse.
Yeah.
I'm looking at corrugated steel and aluminum, and yeah. But once you're on the right side of it, like you forget about all that crap. You don't care if you could see the backside of it.
Well, the back of Cars Land, same thing on
it's
or
totally,
or whatever. Yeah. And you know what? To be honest with you, I don't care about that. Like Jeremy's big thing, was like with going on in Epcot, where they're going to build a big box, a big blue. I don't care. You got to hide stuff somewhere.
Yeah, and I kind of get what he's saying, but there have also been times where the first time Brandy and I were there, I pointed out the Guardians show building tour, and she went, "Where?" It was exactly the right time of day where it really, if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't see it. Because that's the point. Disney's good at this. They know the color of the sky from across the damn lagoon.
That's crazy.
And really, you did have to kind of look at it. It's one of those little optical effects. It's their go away green, the color that they paint the scaffolding and everything when they're working on stuff. Like they've done the work. They understand. If you're not really looking for it, if you're not going to be trying to complain about it, you might not notice or care.
Right.
Soarin' was that way.
Exactly. Well, yeah, at least Soarin', there's like some kind of, I mean, look, who knows? Maybe the top of the rockwork is going to be, or the rockwork is going to be the top of the show building.
Yeah.
And so then it doesn't really matter, right? That's what's how you go into it underneath it. And it's just like a one level thing. Who knows? But, digging into this, because, again, all of this was released last year, and there's a lot of concept art, maybe not a lot, but a few images that I had forgotten about. And I was telling Taryn, I was like, wow, did you know that this is going to have like a bioluminescent water ride or whatever with like sea anemone looking things? And, we talked a little bit about it, but I kind of forgot about it because I'm thoroughly uninterested in Avatar in any way, shape, or form. And like we were saying on the Secret Show, and we've said before when this topic comes up, it will look cool, but I'm uninterested in the storyline or the thing or whatever. I couldn't care less. So in my mind, it's almost like, well, this is a new IP. It's like a new creative story because I don't know anything about Avatar. Having seen the first one, I have no idea what it's about.
And I don't think that matters to most people. When they go to Animal Kingdom, they walk into this area and they go, wow, this is incredible. This is an immersive world I don't understand. While there's a cool ride that's too short, and there's a much cooler ride that I'm willing to wait 2 hours for.
Well, yeah. Well, so, to that point, what I wanted to do was go back and see in a couple of the subreddits what people were saying at the time of the announcement and kind of what they're saying now. Because I was curious, because maybe it's just me. Hi, Ter. Hi. Maybe it's just me. Maybe, maybe it's just us. Maybe we're in a bubble. But, I just was checking in, not like a whole lot, because the internet is a toxic place and no one should go there. But so this is when Avatar Land was announced, I believe, with Disneyland Forward. So it had no home yet. But this was a year ago. The title of this post, Avatar is not going in Hollywood Land. He says, this person says, I keep seeing Disney YouTubers armchair Imagineer by saying without any doubt that Avatar is going in the back lot. Number one, it won't fit. Number two, Zootopia's footprint fits perfectly, both size-wise and aesthetically. I'm assuming Zootopia in like Shanghai?
They've got the whole land there, but...
Yeah, but like what else is he talking about? Zootopia's footprint. It's got to be whatever, the existing thing in Shanghai. Number three, rerouting the monorail is impractical, and keeping it fits the Zootopia theme. Number four, Avatar and Wakanda will both fit in Simba hotel parking, and the rock work could transition between lands easily. And this is the cracker here. Number five, the Disneyland Forward concept art basically shows us this. And while they say it's only concept, I've worked for Disney for 25 years, and I know when art is purposeful.
Oh.
So I wonder how this person's doing now, by the way.
Yeah.
This whole post is just all incorrect whatsoever. And then so the top remark on this is, I really do not want an Avatar or Wakanda land.
Wakanda would be cool, actually.
Well, that's a whole different story. A lot of the complaints about Wakanda land are like, what are you going to put there? You see Wakanda for like half a second, and it looks like the Treehouse of Tomorrow in some place. Like, it's
you know
not
what
really
Wakanda
that
land
great.
should be? It should be a water play area for kids that they took away with Bugs Land. Because like they have that in Wakanda, there's like that whole like there's like puddles and like if I remember like in water and stuff. That'd be cool.
Well, we can bring that up on the Wakanda
areas.
Land show, yeah. And then the this other comment, which I think sums up kind of nicely in reference to why Avatar. Like that's the big question when it was announced. It's still the big question now. But this one person says because while it's not popular with us snobby dorks on the internet, it's absolutely massive with normal people. I didn't want to believe it either until Way of Water came out and was even bigger.
I just still think it's because people don't have anything else to do. I don't think it's because they love it so much. Like my parents, if they went and saw it, it's not because they love it. It's because
it's a thing to do.
It's a thing to do.
Well, I think that's why people. So Snow White came out on Disney Plus, and it became like the biggest streaming thing on Disney Plus. I think because it's finally something new on Disney Plus to watch.
Right.
That's why I think people watch a lot of the new Star Wars movies, even though they kind of like, admittedly, the story's not solid, the acting wasn't very good, but it's Star Wars and you watch it and you're like, okay, do I love it? No. Did it exist? Sure. I watched it. But I don't know. We'll see. So then someone else says, I really don't get why Disney is leaning into Avatar so much. I feel like nobody really thinks of the IP unless there's movie in theaters. And this person commented, they took a 13-year gap between movies and it still made billions of dollars. And I think that's the point. That sums up the whole conversation right there. That's the why. So in case anybody ever wants to know, I wonder why, that's why. After 13 years, it still made, $2 billion.
Keep it out there. Keep the name going. Keep people going, well, no one's going to see that. Well, we keep saying that and saying that and saying that, but everybody saw it.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem with the Disney parks fandom and podcasts like this, where we are kind of in a bubble. We want to kind of form opinion to please ourselves, but the average consumer isn't us. We are above average or below average consumers, depending on what you look. Another comment I thought was good says, Avatar is so weird to me. Everyone goes to those movies and they make a ton, but they don't resonate with most people after they're done watching. Literally, the only character name I remember is Jake.
Jake Sully.
I never see anyone rocking Avatar Loungefly backpacks or Avatar merch. I don't know anyone who claims it's their favorite movie. Half the time,
it doesn't lend itself to stuff like that.
I've never seen Avatar merchandise ever in my entire life. I don't think, not even like a graphic tee.
Which this is why I get so frustrated with it, because it could be so many other things. It could be Encanto. It could be just that house and just like that area of Encanto, and they would get so much more out of it. But they chose Avatar.
I think part of the problem is that people are going to go to the parks regardless. They're going to go there regardless, right? Yeah. But what are you getting out of it? You're still going to get people in there. So why not get that feedback loop, right? Of, well, we still have 2 more movies coming out in the next 25 years or however long it's going to take Cameron to do it. So why not pump those people up for the next 25 years or whatever by going to see the movies? Because Encanto's, they're probably not going to do another one. Maybe they will, who knows? But then you have the ride and that's it. But I think a lot of the new fresh IP that's going to be coming is probably going to be some of it dedicated, not all of it, but a portion of it, 20%, 10% is going to be dedicated to that, feeding that loop of what's coming up next and what is going to be our sequels, our trilogies, and putting IP in the parks from that to get people going, and we have kids now that are Alice's age. So by the time Pandora Land is done and we go and we see it, and then there's another movie out, she might go, wow, that's a movie. Oh, I kind of want to watch that. And it's just going to start that cycle all over again.
Yeah.
And like Ryan saying in the chat, he says, I think also Encanto doesn't appeal to non-fans. And I think that's right. So what people are talking in the chat and what these comments that I'm reading are kind of basically saying is people aren't going to go and see Encanto Land because it looks cool.
because it's colorful and it's fun. And
Yeah, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I don't care about that movie. But
it's
Avatar
Disneyland.
Land,
It's a colorful house.
yeah, but Avatar Land, I think, is going to be so huge. It's just like Star Wars Land. It's going to be so huge and immersive that you're going to see it apropos of seeing the movie or knowing anything about what's going on in the movie. You're going to go for all the bioluminescent stuff. You're going to go for the nighttime nonsense. And you're not going because it ties in with an IP that you resonate with. You're going because it looks pretty. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why, yeah.
Yeah. Encanto was just an example. I think it could be 100,000 other things aside from Avatar.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a weak choice. I feel like it is very reminiscent of in Mean Girls trying to make fetch happen. That's what it is. They're
But
trying.
I think they made fetch happen a few years ago, and they went, "Oh crap, that worked."
Yeah, but that's Disney World, where there's so much more room. There's so much more ability to do whatever you want because there's so much room. We have such limited room in Anaheim that to waste it on this just kind of makes me mad. I don't like it. I personally, and I don't think I'm alone here considering Reddit and considering a lot of things, but I just don't think that it is. I just don't. I think that there were better options. I think they could have done other things. That would
it's
have been
hard
better.
to say, it's hard to say what's better because nothing's been done yet, right?
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows where the direction is going? But like I said, they don't really have a trilogy coming out or a solid IP that's going to span 15 years. Avatar will, and they know it's going to look good because it was a hit in Walt Disney World, even though these same things were said about Avatar Land in Disney World. Name one character from Avatar.
Right,
Do you know
but
the people? Right. But I'm saying the land was such a success that people really enjoy it. And it's like a pop.
That's exactly my point. I don't think people ever talk about it anymore.
You know, they totally do. Absolutely they do.
There's a
feel
lot of talk about it. Exactly what Jason's saying. Can you name somebody from it? And then somebody's going to go, you know what? I'm going to learn this because I want.
Well, like people say, well, here, let me finish this. So someone else on these comments says, I think that Avatar Land was meant for Disneyland Forward originally, but Universal has successfully scared Disney to the point that they are rushing into things, trying to find the cheapest, fastest ways to get IP they want into their parks, which I thought was a good comment and something that we probably can talk about real fast, where Universal, Epic Universe or whatever, they are showing Disneyland like, hey, we're back in it. And Disneyland's going, oh my God, what do we do? Well, let's scrap Hollywood, because who knows? Like I was saying before, maybe Terrence is right. Maybe Marvel Land was going to come into Hollywood Land. It was going to be a whole thing, but they weren't ready for it. So they upped the timeline. They already had a thing from Avatar ready, and they just decided to box it into Hollywood Land. Who knows, right? But it's an interesting thought experiment to think about. Like this is a result of Disneyland reacting to another theme park for the second or third time since within the last 10 years or whatever it feels like.
Yeah, I feel like they just are still grieving the fact that they don't have Harry Potter.
Sure.
Not too late for that.
This other comment, this is the last Reddit comment I have, but they go, seriously, I feel almost gaslit by Disney when it comes to Avatar. The way they're so hell-bent on incorporating it everywhere when there's so many better, more popular, underused IPs.
Yes.
And one comment I didn't pull because I think I just got lost in whatever tab I was in, which is classic, right? But, this lady's like, look, I have no idea about the Avatar. I have no interest in Avatar Land whatsoever. I've never seen the movies. I don't care about them. But when I went to Disney World and we went to Pandora at night, it was the greatest point of our entire trip across the whole entire park. And you don't really hear that. I mean, people might say something similar about Galaxy's Edge. Like, wow, it's so immersive. It looks so great. But as the single most important thing of your trip, like that's wild to me. So again, I think it's going to be, we have IP coming out. We have two more movies, you said, Eric, right?
At least. I mean, they've talked about more. We know Fire and Ash is next, and that's going to be awesome.
So that's why Avatar. So that for me has sort of like answered the question, like, why Avatar? It's no longer for me why Avatar, but will I care beyond how it looks? I don't know. It's like when it gets old, will I still love it? Right? When it gets old, it moves away, goes to college. Will I still love this? Probably not. But it's going to be big no matter what. And in fact, it's going to be so big that they're talking about rerouting the monorail.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Seems like a big undertaking.
Because everything's going to be kicking out, right? To be kicking out into that bus depot. So since there's that pedestrian bridge that's going across now, harbor, I think is what it is. Man, for all the years of going to Disneyland, I know the names of the streets. I couldn't tell you which one is which. I have no idea. I'll do West Catella and Ball and Harbor, and I'll mean the same street. I have no idea what's going on. So it's going to be over that. And so the monorail's got to go somewhere. So Disneyland hasn't necessarily mentioned where things are going. Of course, there's a lot of rumors because that's what people are doing, but they are working. The only thing they've said is they're working on a way to have the Disneyland monorail interact with DCA. I don't know if that's
good.
Yeah, I don't know if that means a stop in DCA. Can you imagine?
That would be amazing.
That'd be great.
Grabbing the monorail. Like, where would that even, behind Tower of Terror? See, it's the other thing. I will always call it Tower of Terror. I don't even know what it's Guardians of the Galaxy, but that's the movie to me.
Mission Breakout.
I'm not going to say Mission Breakout because first of all, it reminds me of a Clearox commercial I saw in like 1994. Like I'm not going to see it. Wasn't it a video game? Wasn't that an Atari video game name, by the way, Eric, you nerd?
Breakout?
Mission Breakout?
Not Mission Breakout, Breakout.
Yeah, I used to play it on the Atari 2600.
Because you had the little dial one.
Yeah.
So that was where you moved the bar back and forth and you'd like bounce it was like Pong, solo Pong, but you had to break all the little blocks.
I loved it, dude.
Oh,
I
that
loved
was a
that
fun
game.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, Breakout. Yep. 1976. You old man.
It predates you, Jason.
It does predate me.
Predates me, but I remember playing
Super Breakout. That was the one. I'm thinking Mission Break. I knew there was one with the second one. But it's Breakout ruled. But anyway, so I don't know where they're going to put that. I don't know what they're going to do, and it sounds like Disney doesn't really necessarily know either. But all the construction is going to be starting in early 2026, which hopefully we can get down. It'd be nice to ride the Monsters Inc. ride. There's going to be so many people with like 8K video cameras.
Is that
documenting?
a thing?
Yeah, I think so. Sure. Why not? Documenting every inch of the Mike and Sully ride, the line, and all that. What Disney should do, and I've said this before, but now that they're like starting to close some of these rides, they need to do like a 360 VR capture of that entire ride line, the queue, the ride, all of the thing. And then put it up for people to like watch on VR. And they should do it with all their stupid rides, to be honest with you.
People would absolutely pay for that too.
And we've talked about this.
Yeah.
People would friggin' pay a $20, $19.95 a month, or tie it in with your dumb Disney Plus thing. Tie it in with that. You can download a new pack every quarter or whatever. 3 rides.
I love it.
Just do it. I think people would love
what
it.
They should do is go into Monsters and then take the yellow suit guys, take the yellow suits off so that we have like the original celebrity animatronics there from Superstar Limo. They're the ones that are chasing the Monsters Inc.
That would be that actually would be really fun to like.
Oh no, it's Drew Carey.
To like just do a mishmash. A mashup of whatever they want. Just let the folks in Imagineering, let the folks in figure finishing just have fun with it. Don't change the ride layout, right? Mm-mm. Keep the audio, but change the animatronics. Put different costumes on them. Put different faces on them. Put a pirate head on one of them. Like just have it be a monstrosity for like 3 weeks. I think that'd be hilarious.
Monstrosities Inc.
Yeah, I think that'd be hilarious. Let's see. I'm looking. Someone was like making a potential map of like where the monorail was going to go, potentially rumors, and I thought it might be fun to look at. But they're saying, they're saying like curving around Avatar Land, basically across, so like behind Award Wieners, and then basically intersecting Buena Vista Street.
Okay, and what's there?
Nothing. Just moving the monorail there. So like if you're looking top down,
yeah,
I should share it, but I can't right now. The monorail is on the right side of the Esplanade, basically kicking it over into DCA, but just in Buena Vista Street. Like, yeah, so not too far. But I would love to have a monorail stop there. I think that would make much more sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It would make, I think a monorail stop in DCA would make more sense if their eventual plan is a third door, a third park.
Third gate?
A third gate, yeah.
You were going to get there. A third hatch.
Maybe. A third hat.
That's lost.
I think because then it would make sense because then you sort of just keep expanding and then, but it seems like it's a lot of work and a lot of, because now that's a new entrance gate, you know? And you need a park hopper and you can only get in before like after 1 o'clock. And like, there's a lot that goes into it than just having a stop in DCA. So I think it makes sense, but only if there's a plan for later as well.
Yeah, I think, look, they're not even going to start construction on Hollywoodland until early 2026. So I would imagine they're not even going to tackle the front gate until maybe late 26, early 27.
Yeah.
And then you can figure it out. But I'm hoping by the time this stupid thing opens, there's going to be no more. There's going to be no more restrictions on when you can park hop anymore.
That would be nice.
You know,
maybe
because that's the only way that makes sense. Now, of course, adding on to that, the only way that makes sense is if there is a stop in DCA. And I'm not saying that there's going to be, but I would like there to be one.
Yeah, it is interesting language to say interact.
Right.
Like that.
And that's not my language. I don't even think that's Disneyland's language. Oh. That's just whoever wrote the article's language.
Yeah.
Interact, intersect. Who know? I mean, just being in the park is an interaction.
Yeah.
But they've been talking about the Avatar experience instead of Avatar Land.
That's true. Yeah. Well, look, man, some things I'll never change. Star Wars Land, Avatar Land. That's what it's going to be. But one of those comments still kind of resonates with me. And when the person's basically like, I don't know a single character name. Even the worst movie that I've ever seen, I could name you a character.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Until that person said Jake in their comment, I couldn't have named a single person. But now, unfortunately, I can. I do find it really interesting, and I think it is an interesting study. It's an interesting thing to think about. The fact that most people, if you talk to anybody, they either haven't seen Avatar or not interested in it or didn't like it. I've yet to ever interact with a super fan of Avatar. And so that gaslit comment really strikes me, where it's like,
me too.
Maybe they are really trying to feed it down our throats.
And in that respect, it will probably work. But also, I totally resonate with that as well, because I think that's what makes me mad about it, is I do feel gaslit. I feel like they keep telling us that there's a reason for this. There's big fans and they made all this money. And even our chat is saying, oh, yeah, no, there's reasons for it. It makes sense. And it's like, it doesn't make sense. But it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I have never met a person who is like, hey, have you seen Avatar? Because you really should. I've never met that. I've never had a conversation about Avatar except on this show.
Beyond the first one, no, I haven't. Beyond the first Avatar, where everyone was like, oh my God. Because it was like 3D or something, right? And it was like, technologically, it was amazing. But
really good CG, yeah.
Yeah, but right out of the gate, people were complaining about the story and how boring it was. But then you had people in China committing suicide because they couldn't live in a world as beautiful as Avatar. So they're definitely...
I do remember that.
It definitely resonated with people in the wrong way. But look, the bottom line is, whether we understand it or not, whether we agree with it or not, it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's going to be supporting at least another 2 to 3 movies in the future. So here it is. I guarantee you it's going to look beautiful. It's going to be amazing. But I'm gonna have no clue. I'm not gonna understand a single friggin' reference in this. I'm not going to know. There's going to be people out there who are going to be like, well, it's not really lore accurate because in the movie, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to be interested in that. Normally, I jump all over that, like, oh yeah, because
you don't like that when it's a thing that you are familiar with, like Star Wars.
For sure, absolutely.
People are like, well, the collar of the rocks.
But then again, I've met a lot of people who really like Star Wars. I've never met anybody who really likes Avatar. No, not anymore. I'll tell you that. I don't know. Okay. Well, anyway, that's the Hollywoodland thing. Again, we kind of went hard on the secret show about it, but there's no information beyond what we just covered here. So it seems kind of like a thin segment, but there's nothing to talk about except why.
Yeah.
So we've been talking for a little while. I think this worked out.
I think it worked out great. I'm just saying, like, there's no more information beyond this. So it was a lot of reading opinions on the internet. So look forward to the monorail being closed for a good portion of time, probably.
Oh yeah,
I would guess, right?
Time, sounds like.
And
they just reopened it.
Yeah, and then just that whole section of the park just being kind of a nightmare for a few years. But it'll be fun to see the updates of the build, because the big rock work kind of thing that's coming up looks neat. That'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch the park change. As much as I like Mike and Sully, I don't know. I don't care anymore, I guess. I just don't care about anything anymore. Take it all down. There were a lot of people, especially on Reddit last year, talking about how it was a travesty that Tomorrowland still needed love, but we're getting Avatar Land first. And it's like, well...
but people go to Tomorrowland. I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing about Tomorrowland is that, like, tell me what you would do. What is the future? We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't, like, Tomorrowland is very difficult. Tomorrowland is Retroland, and I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that too. I think people just want more of it.
Yeah.
And that would be nice,
but also, like, what? Like, where?
70s, 80s technology. Give me that aesthetic again. Give me that. You know what I would love to see? I would love to go back to, like, revisit Tomorrowland from the first 5 years. Give me the bathroom of the future.
Yeah, I do want innovations back.
Give me gold-plated toilets.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Give me what was popular in the 70s. Yes, give me all of that. Give me the house, the Monsanto house. But I'd
love to see that.
Yeah,
just that kind of stuff would be really fun. Like, video games through the ages. I don't know. I really do think that area could be and I've said this forever, a great showcase for old, like, previous decades about what we thought the future was going to look like or whatever, or bring back, animatronics, how the animatronics have changed over something. They
need Flynn's there. Isn't that what it's called in Tron?
Yeah.
That's what they need in Tomorrowland. That would fit in perfect.
Igers. Just call it Igers. And it's just it's a revolving door. You just pay. And pay, and then you come out and you pay, and then eventually you go like, well, where's what am I getting for my money?
Well, that is the future.
And then the next time you go through the gates, it's not gates, it's rotating knives.
Oh my God.
And then you disappear down to the floor, and then the next person goes, hey. Anyway, so let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more park destruction, because Tom Sawyer's, plural, possessive, island in Walt Disney World is going away in favor of anthropomorphic cars. So we're going to learn more about that from Eric when we return. Hang on, everyone. It's Ears Up. We'll be right back.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Visit USAA.com/bundle.
Bundle savings are off total premium, not available in all states or in all situations. To qualify, auto policy must be active prior to property policy issue, subject to change. Restrictions apply. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay, courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
And now, back to the show that ignites your dream wish of imaginations and magical color wonderment of forever. Ears Up.
All right, thanks for hanging around, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed our little Avatar Land segue, or segment, rather. And if you want to hear more on that, if you want to hear more of Taryn's passionate discourse, very well rationalized and thought out, hit up The Secret Show. Go to patreon.com/earsup. You can not only find that, but it's our, in case you don't know, it's our monthly extra show that we do, and $5 a month or more, and it goes back over a decade, I think, at this point. So check it out, and there's a lot of other stuff up there too. And not only do you get extra content from every show that we have on the network, but it helps support the network. It helps us pay our hosting bills. And that's kind of it. That's kind of it. So anyway, thank you very much, everybody. Before we get to Eric's segment, I want to remind you that 21st Amendment, those folks over there are in San Leandro making the greatest craft beer you've ever had in your entire life. And I can say that knowing that nobody will ever call me out on it and tell me that I'm wrong, because then they would instantly, spontaneously combust, because it's untrue. I don't know. Sorry, Sully. I don't know what I'm saying, man. I'm trying, and whatever. Actually, Sully and I are in talks. Speaking of Patreon shows, the Pyramid Eye of the Ears, that my little conspiracy theory show that I probably started 8 years ago and have 5 episodes of.
Wait, there are 5 now?
Yeah, there's been 5. Yeah. But I'm working on the 6th one, and I want Sully to do it with me, and I think he's going to.
Ooh. Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. So look for that at some point soon. I will definitely let everybody know, but Sully will be joining me hopefully soon on a Pyramid Eye of the Ears about cults in LA and how it ties into Disneyland, which is fascinating for me and hopefully for you as well. But anyway, aside from that, 21st Amendment, go to 21st-amendment.com, or dash, I guess it is. 21st-amendment.com. Figure out where to get some 21st Amendment. They have right now the Hell or High Watermelon wheat beer, which is their classic summer in a can. It is a beautiful, beautiful wheat beer, dressed up, zhuzhed up with fresh watermelon juice. It is absolutely amazing. It is the beer that everybody drinks in the Bay Area over the summer. It's a fantastic beer. And of course, they have IPAs, because everybody loves an IPA. They have all sorts of beers. And right now, I think in the Bay Area, and I don't know where else, but in the Bay Area, some Costco's have 21A variety packs. So you can pick some of those up too. So don't forget, when you're at Costco, it's not the greatest, because the beer's, sitting out,
temp.
But it's fine because it's so local. It's still going to taste great. And so don't worry about it. So, all the other stuff at Costco, you go, I don't really know, man. It's this beer from, Pennsylvania. No, this is right here in San Leandro. This is still going to be great beer. So definitely pick it up. 21st Amendment. We love everybody over there. And they might know about us. I don't know. We'll see. That was terrible. Sully, I'm apologizing in advance. That was not good.
It was fine.
I apologize. He wrote like a thing, right? He writes a thing, but it's like an ad. It's a commercial.
Yeah.
He's paying for the personality, not for you to just read an ad.
I guess. I don't know. I don't talk to him about it. I go, yeah, this sounds great. And then I read the ad 3 times and I go, man, I don't like being boxed in.
You used to do like the recording.
I do.
That was
I
cool.
did. It was cool.
I did that once too.
Yeah, Eric did one
Oh,
too.
yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to.
It was, but it's a lot of work.
Oh, true.
You know what I mean? And then I started doing this.
There you go.
Anyway, Eric, what's going on, man? Tell me about Thomas's Sawyer's Island, please.
Well, Thomas's English Muffins sponsored the original Thomas's Sawyer's Island.
See, I knew it.
See? Fake facts from Eric. Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit. One of the big things that came up is that Walt Disney World took a look at their land and said, you know what, we want to do something different to Magic Kingdom, and what we're going to do is gut a chunk of the land that people don't go to.
Okay. And
everybody lost their minds. It's kind of like how everybody became the biggest Muppets fan ever a couple weeks ago.
People were dancing out front of the Muppets, and I was like, God, the internet is forever, you guys.
Oh my goodness. I absolutely loved all of the Muppet love. I part of me does kind of wish I was there, but I also know that I'm not nearly the Muppets fan that some of these folks are.
Let me tell you, Eric, neither are they.
Yeah, neither are
Well,
they.
that was going to be the other part. Like,
okay.
I'm also a way bigger Muppets fan than many of those people.
Yeah, it's very much like when that restaurant that's been open for 25 years in your town closes, and you go, "Oh man, I love that place. That sucks that it's being driven out by McDonald's." And then someone goes, "Well, when was the last time you were there?" You're like, 1974. You know, like, I don't go. I don't know, but I still loved it.
They made the best Lithuanian food. Sorry, I don't know why that one came to mind first, but
I don't know why either. But hey, if you want a beer from Lithuania, Svitris. It's a very good lager. There you go. That's it. I don't know why I know that either, but there you go.
Some news.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so this is the new area that they're working on in the Magic Kingdom. One of multiple. I mean, we're building a Villain's Land further back, and we're not going to talk about that one today because we don't have a lot of extra info. What we did get around the same time as all of this Avatar business and this new gate business, this bridge over harbor.
Yeah, bridge over harbor.
Now you've
waters.
got me wondering.
Yeah, I think it is harbor. Yeah.
Okay.
We're experts. We're Disneyland. You know what we need? We need a concierge to tell us.
Well, let's go to the chat. There's 7 of them there.
Let's go to the chat.
Uh-oh, somebody's...
I'm actually surprised they haven't corrected us by now.
It's harbor.
Harbor. Okay, there we go. Thanks, Olivia.
Yeah.
And Ryan. Okay, not harbors.
Not harbors.
Oh,
Olivia,
that's a challenge.
You rudeness. Now it is. Now it's Harbors Boulevard.
It's David Harbour's Boulevard.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Heck
He
yeah.
purchased it with that sweet Hellboy money. So we're going to replace a chunk of the rivers of America in Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. It's looked at as sacrilege by some. In other cases, they go, "Oh, okay, what are they putting in?" All right. So we'll see how it goes over time, because this is the arrival of, as Jason mentioned, anthropomorphic cars to Frontierland. We are taking a property that people seem to like, and we're putting it into a chunk of the park that people like to go to.
Seem to like. Do you not like Cars? Are you not a Cars fan?
I've seen 1 and 3.
Okay.
I enjoy them. I actually never saw them until after I went to DCA, and I went, this land is really cool. And then I went and watched Cars and went, oh, they really just made the town.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think that's what's going to happen with Avatar Land. I really do. I think that's what's going to happen. It's just going to fuel interest again.
Right. Yeah. Can I go see the movie where the people ride a tulkun, which is one of the whale creatures?
Bless you.
See, I know things about Avatar.
You do.
I'm not sure where I pulled that one. I haven't seen that movie in like a year, but I only watched it a couple times. Anyway, think tulkun. We'll see. The chat will probably correct me too. Let's see. All right, back to the topic at hand here. So this is a large area. It's a large chunk of the park, but it's always been a little bit problematic in my mind, because if you want to get back to it, imagine if you're a Disneylander, imagine taking Big Thunder Mountain and moving it to the other side of the rivers of America and not having a back way to get to it. Going to Splash Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain means you have to go into a dead end. You walk all the way around the river, and those are 2 of the biggest rides in the park. Splash Mountain, Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Big Thunder Mountain, and they're stuck. And if you go, you could take the riverboat, you can go all the way around, but there's nothing on the back end of the property over there. It's just, there's no walking there. You've got plenty of things to see, of course, but there's no walking paths. There are no other attractions back there. It's like Critter Country used to be for a long time, where at Disneyland where you'd go back that way and you're like, oh, well, I guess I'll turn around.
Yeah, you got to turn around. Okay. Yeah.
Creating these massive choke points. So this is something that will actually improve the flow of the park. Theoretically, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're shutting down a chunk of the rivers of America. The way the concept art goes, it looks like the view from Frontierland is going to stay the same. There's still a river. I don't know if there's going to be a river boat. It might have to turn around. I don't get how that's going to go. But at least from that area, it's not going to look much different. They're just taking the backside and they're building something large, something very large. Now, I'm going to pause here on the potential coming to Magic Kingdom news area, and I'm going to reference the Western River Expedition. So a little history segment here. We always talk about how the Imagineers never get rid of a good idea. Well, the Western River Expedition was a Mark Davis plan for the early years of the Magic Kingdom. He started planning for this large area in 1967. He had a great story. He had a lot of great ideas. He had poor timing. Now, Thunder Mesa was going to be a very large area that was a network of attractions. He started planning for this in 1967, planned it for the original opening. It got bumped due to budgetary constraints. And then when the park opened in 1971, this area that he had been creating that was supposed to be cowboys and Native Americans and all sorts of stuff, the Old West, they wanted the fans wanted pirates. And Disney thought, oh, people in Florida don't want to see pirates. Pirates was actually a part of their past. This is an area that was attacked by pirates and colonized by pirates.
Yeah.
They don't want to see a fun show about pirates. Everybody wanted to see Pirates of the Caribbean.
You're right. So
park opens up. They want pirates, not cowboys. And they devoted resources to getting this pirates thing going. The thing that really led to the downfall of Thunder Mesa is that they devoted this space and these resources to pirates. They made a smaller attraction. It was quicker. But as you hear a lot about the early days of Walt Disney World, is it really just budget. The world changed. We had a fuel crisis. People can't travel by car. Everything's expensive. We can't just build stuff. So this giant attraction space that Mark Davis built was shoved into the background. Now, what this would have been, and Mark Davis not only did tons of drawings of the people and animatronics and show elements that would have been part of this, there's also a large model that was built to show what Thunder Mesa would have been. So I mentioned a network of attractions. So it's a giant show building. You can't see the show building. It's covered with fake rocks. It's covered with hiking trails. It's covered with pack mule trails. This is recreating the original Frontierland from Disneyland, but fake and big and with elevation and mountains. The Walt Disney World Railroad would have gone through this. It would have looked into the main attraction there. This is going to be what Mark wanted to do was create this boat attraction. So basically recreate Pirates as an Old West show. So 10 to 12 minutes in length, boat ride through the Old West. That's what's going on indoors. There's also a restaurant indoors. Outside, a canoe-themed log flume that would have descended into the mesa outdoors. Sound familiar? Also, a runaway mine train ride. All of this is part of the same complex.
That sounds awesome.
Now, right, it sounds absolutely incredible. If he had really been able to cram all this stuff together, it would have been phenomenal. But it's a really big project at a time when the economy tanks and you've got to, let's just make a quick Pirates ride and get out of here.
Yeah.
Now, Mark kept working on this. He kept making later drafts. He kept kind of updating things. A lot of his original ideas were comical depictions of Native Americans with red noses and full headdresses and all these uncomfortable things that wouldn't have worked out. He removed a lot of this stuff over time because he tinkered with this for years. But yeah, the energy crisis happened. We had to worry about the bicentennial. We wanted to make a whole bunch of cool stuff for both coasts for that. Tokyo Disneyland was starting up. Epcot Center was starting up. This whole thing kind of got shelved. In 1977, Mark retired, and his pet project was somewhere in a back room. Really, it just kind of sat there for a while until the next generation showed up, and then a young man named Tony Baxter walked in, looked at some of this stuff, and said, we could do this. And made an enemy of Mark Davis by basically creating Splash Mountain and Big Thunder Railroad.
Taking his ideas.
Taking his ideas. And he's doing what the Imagineers had always done. They're just sharing and saying, well, we can't do this whole thing, but we can do these little parts.
Yeah.
Let's do this. We can do this on both coasts. It'll be great.
But Mark Davis was not happy with that.
No, he was not. But hey, he was retired and he didn't work at Disney anymore. So what are you going to do? But
he should have worked
apparently
faster.
They didn't talk much after that.
Aw, that's too bad.
But yeah, there are a lot of elements that were taken from that original idea and were able to be parted off and created in the real world. Fantastic. We still got a lot of this, a lot of what this would have been. Now, flashback to now, we've got this large area that might have some overlapping projects. We don't know a lot about it, but look at the concept art. It's a large area that's not just flat. It's not just a show building. It's pathways. It's different ideas all happening in the same space. And hey, we get a new buzzword from Disney Imagineering.
I love a buzzword.
It's called parkitecture.
Oh, wow. That is a new one.
And that's what they're calling hiding IP from the outside by using quality rock work that we all love. Which
Parkitecture. Parkitecture. Okay.
I love it.
All right. I'm not going to even comment on it. I'm just going to walk right past it.
All right. Well, you can also walk past it on hiking trails, past geysers, waterfalls, and a nice
geysers.
National Park
why not
lodge.
Just peoplers? Why does it have to be guys?
Not girlsers.
Not girlsers.
Wow, he's so woke. Everybody,
thank you.
Oh yeah. Well, the main attraction in Piston Peak National Park.
Piston Peak.
Piston.
Can you say?
Yes,
can Disney say that?
No, Piston. It's cars.
Oh,
car thing.
Yeah. Okay. Duh. Got it. All right. All right.
He's with us again. He's back.
I'm back.
All right. It's a family friendly.
I wish I was in Piss Park or whatever it is.
Yeah. This is family friendly. It's in there. It's in the copy.
Right.
It's a family friendly attraction. It's going to be a rally race, so it's going to be kind of like Ridgeway Racers, but more outdoors, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be bumpier. But yeah, we're replacing this chunk of the original park, the Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, singular, no possession. And one of the things that this area is going to do is help hide Villains Land from the rest of Frontierland. So they're building up, so you're not going to see this dark area in the background where there's probably going to be cool lighting and all this stuff.
Like parkitecture.
Parkitecture, yes.
Okay,
it's doing its job.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, I think that would be disappointing if you were on Tom Sawyer's Island and then you look over and there's like purple lights from Villains World or whatever it is.
Okay, it's going to be all purple lights.
Yeah, it has to. Well, I mean, that's the concept art, but that's the scary color,
right?
The bright purple.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Cars is an older IP, but it's still popular.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that they're going to do any more Cars movies anytime soon. Probably. Why not? But I mean, the Cars area in DCA is still massively popular.
Yeah,
I would say. I love it. There's a new character that they've created, Ranger J. Audubon Woodlore. He's the park ranger of Piston Peak National Park.
Okay.
Autobahn, like, isn't that, I mean, I know it's the big highway in Germany or whatever, but isn't that also like the Bird Society people?
Yes, it's that spelling.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
The Bird Society people. Yeah. Not
See,
the
already
Autobahn.
based on the confusion, I wouldn't have chosen that.
But yeah, you know what? It's interesting because it can make you think of that, and this is a car.
Well, I mean, it could also be an alliteration. Would that be the appropriate term, Taryn, the English major?
Of what?
Because it makes you think of both.
Oh.
Because it works for both. But it's not the
I don't know if
obvious
that's
one. It's
alliteration,
the
but-
unobvious one.
It's not alliteration, no.
Oh. All right. Well, anyway.
But nice try.
There you go. It also provides a new way to get to Big Thunder, going around the opposite direction. Better flow. According to, so there's a lot of fan outrage and enrage. And I read a New York Post article that was pretty dumb, but my favorite part was someone saying, I'm canceling my next trip if
dude, I
if
love these.
the Rivers of America is closed.
My next trip that I haven't planned yet. It's canceled.
New York Post sucks because all they do is they just take the I'm canceling my next trip if that's their template. And then
Right.
they just feed in whatever is happening. And then it's always like, says, Ray Markelson from, Civic Center, New Jersey. He works 34, works as a plumber, and he saves up all of his cash just to take his 8 kids to Disney World. And this is what he gets. This is the same. It's the same.
All they ever
recycled
ride
content.
is the Liberty Bell. They've never been on any other attractions.
And whenever they do, he will never let his kids stop saluting the flag, even though you're not supposed to salute the flag if you're not in military service. You're supposed to put your hand over your heart, but some people don't know that.
Well, there you go. That's the attitudes out there.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of detail. There's a little more detail than just a concept art, which is what's so interesting about this. They actually have said, here's a new character. Here are the kinds of things we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks so much like, look it up, people. It looks so much like Western River Expedition. And they're building up. They're doing multiple things. You can walk around. It's an interesting idea. And, I'm not super excited about cars, but I do like having a major renovation going on. Look at Galaxy's Edge. How many people were so upset about the petting zoo?
Me.
How many people were so upset about what was the car stunt show? I was going to reference it, but I didn't write it down.
Car stunt.
Hollywood Studios, they ripped out a bunch of warehouses and fake studios to put Galaxy's Edge in. Great. We have something that people are going to. It didn't ruin either park. This is a chance to make something new and fresh. And I really want to have a reason to go to Magic Kingdom. When I travel, I don't like if I'm with my whole family, I'll go to Magic Kingdom. But if I'm traveling alone or, just trying to cover something, I don't always go to the Magic Kingdom anymore. I want to have a reason to go there and see something new and something big and interesting. So, yeah, really looking forward to this. I'll go on record saying that.
Yeah.
Okay, it sounds neat. So basically, they're packing more stuff to do, and Cars fits that IP somehow.
And it's in a spot that's not really being used already.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense. I love this one. This is great. This is a great use of space, of land, and of IP.
I don't like it. I don't like it because I'm over Cars. Just like people are over Star Wars, which is me, and Marvel, which is also me. I'm over
Surprise.
Cars. We are carsed out.
But they don't have cars over there.
In Florida, they don't have cars. What do? Fly? Ride on horseback? Come on now.
They did have a Lightning McQueen experience, but that's being closed and villains are going in there. But they're already in there.
I guess that's a good point, Taryn, if they don't have the because another part of all of that kind of online backlash I was reading in my segment about Avatar Land, people are like, oh, why can't they just bring something from the other parks over here? And then other people are like, well, you don't really want the same things in both parks because then there's no reason to go. So you can still go over there and have a Cars experience. But I guess, like, when was the last Cars movie? Are there more movies planned? It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. But this is why I'm not an Imagineering. This is the only reason why. We still have
Snow White stuff. I guess we had a Snow White movie.
Yeah, we had a Snow White movie for sure.
I don't Pinocchio. Oh, I didn't.
But I think that's why. I think it's also one of the reasons why they're redoing all of these into live action, is to not only like refresh the copyright and all that kind of stuff, and maybe even replace it, but to just keep it fresh in everybody's mind about this is what we're still doing. But the Cars, I don't know. Cars was fine. I didn't really take to it the way that some other adults did.
I don't think Cars is gonna have any more because it was John Lasseter. I mean,
yeah, but they could change that.
Change that.
Yeah, man. But you know what they should do? They should do a live action Cars next. That's what they should do.
There's an animated series, but the last one that they did was 2017.
See?
Wow. It was that recent for Cars 3?
Yeah.
Huh.
And then there's Planes.
Yeah, but that was
terrible.
Oh, yeah. There's actually 2 of them.
Yes, sure. Planes, Fire and Rescue.
I bet that was direct to video, though.
Probably.
Is my guess.
Possible 4th film.
Okay, maybe. I mean, you know what? It was.
I mean, kids love it, right? So there you go.
Kids love it, and it fits well in a theme park. It's an easy ride. It's a car. It's a living car.
Yeah,
sit in the car, go for a ride.
Which also, if you're interested in Disneyland and Disney movie theories, have a whole thing about Cars that did a Pyramid Dye the Ears on Patreon. You can look that up.
That was a great one.
You know, the whole thing, man. Yeah. Well, cool.
I mean, evolution.
Yeah, like, look, it's again, the IP I'm not too pleased about, but it seems to make sense, and I'm always up for new stuff. We didn't go to Tom Sawyer's Island, so I can't say that we're missing anything. It doesn't sound like it. Sounds like it was kind of abandoned. And if Cars is generally geared towards younger kids, and Tom Sawyer's Island is geared towards younger kids, you know what I mean? 7 to 12, probably, I would guess, 6 to 12. Then it sounds like a great fit to me. And here's the other thing. Disney has done so much more market research than any of us have combined on these things. We are going off a gut. They are going off of hundreds of thousands of dollars of market research done. So they know exactly how many people are going to go. I would love to see their projected numbers for some of these things. I would love to see that just purely for funsies. Like, I would love to know what they think is going to happen and what they're projecting, and, you know, all the different levels of that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. The chat has had much to say. Lights, Motor, Action was the stunt show I was thinking about.
Okay.
It was okay. It was a stunt show with cars. Let's see. Oh, RGH was correcting me on J. Audubon Woodlore. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Who cares about the chat?
Yeah, we are mixing it. Okay.
All right. Well, are we? Let's get out of here then.
All right.
Anything of that?
Love it.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to the show about based about 2 IPs that no one cares about, but they're still doing anyway. And you know, they're both going to be done pretty fun. What do you think of that? The pretty cool stuff.
They'll be fine. Yeah,
they'll be fine, man. They'll be all right.
Oh, wait.
What?
I've got stuff to talk about on shows.
Go ahead, then. Sorry,
Those on the network.
Well, because we talked about it before, and you're like, "No, I don't got anything." I'm like, "Okay, let's go."
I got plenty. Look at that. I've got a network. People told me what they were doing.
Oh my god. Okay.
All
right. It'll be real quick. Let's see. We're talking Punipod. Falcon and Winter Soldier will be out when RGH finishes editing it.
Okay.
Loki season 1 is next. Ironheart preview on the Monthly Bugle that is coming out next week. Let me tell you, if you want to talk about feedback from wacky people on the internet, look at the comments in anything about Ironheart.
Oh yeah, dude.
Internet trolls hate shows about women that are flying around in a robot.
You got to just stop the women.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I didn't want to, insult the trolls.
It's just
that's just fact.
It's okay to insult trolls.
Yeah, you're telling them you said that, and they'd be like, he's right.
Yeah. Oh, that sums me up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Supreme Resort. We are currently on hiatus because of a certain host who had some eye surgery and has trouble seeing.
Oh.
He had another one added.
But what we have done is we reached out to our friends at the Harrison Comparison. This is a Harrison Ford comparison show. They are doing intros for some classic content that we have unlocked from our archives that was previously not behind a paywall, but we unlocked it anyway.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool. I don't need to know.
None of it means anything.
Okay.
It's all kayfabe.
I don't know what that means either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is generally about 20% of how our conversations go, where I'm going, what?
Yeah. We've got some old content mixed with new content that we're putting out each week.
Love it.
New episode coming tomorrow if I finish editing this one.
Cool.
And let's see. So the Bantha Boys, they are paused right now. Scraping the Vault. They're gearing up for their Into the Tinkerverse.
Nice.
Where they will do all of the Tinkerbell movies in one
scary,
go.
dude. I wouldn't wish that upon. Well, I probably would wish that upon my worst enemy. Yeah, that sounds awful. I feel like I need to send everybody on that show like a box of Sour Patch Kids or something like that to like get them through, to medicate them with sour sugar.
Seriously.
Oh gosh.
Definitely.
And what about Buena Vista Boys? What are
Buena
you
Vista
guys
Boys?
up to?
We just finished recording and I just finished editing episode 2 of season 2, which is Now You See Him, Now You Don't, the follow-up to the smash hit The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes. And I will say that movie is much tighter than The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes.
Wow.
They definitely, a common thread throughout the whole episode is that people learned some things. We learned how to act. We learned how to tighten up our writing. We learned a lot of stuff.
No wonder Kurt's still working.
Yeah, I know, man. You can see it now. You can see it in him.
That's good.
So that's happening. And then we're going to be recording our number 3 episode, our 3rd episode, the live action Robin Williams launch, the career launch of Robin Williams, Popeye.
Oh, Popeye.
I believe 1980.
The Robert Altman?
Yes.
Oh,
distributed
I can't
under
wait.
Buena Vista. So we're going to be doing that live on Twitch on June 22nd, I believe is what it is. What is that, this weekend?
The movie's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And it's funny because just now it's great timing. Because I saw an article the other day about like how basically that movie was sort of like a front for cocaine trafficking.
Oh,
like
good.
that movie was so every drugs were everywhere to the point where people had to step in and be like, okay, we need to like calm it down. Apparently it was wild. So we're going to dig into all that. It's going to be great. And then once that's recorded and edited, then I'm going to release them. So I'm hoping to start releasing things in the first week of July. And then we're going to do 2 episodes a month. We're going to release those.
Cool.
That'll be coming out soon.
Awesome.
Yeah. And if you are on Twitch, if you're hanging out, tomorrow I'm going to get back into streaming The Last of Us Part 1. I got to redo that game again. And then, I don't know a schedule yet, but if you're around, come hang out. That'll be fun. Keep an eye out for the alert about when we go live. And jump in, even if you don't really care about the game, just come talk to me. Come hang out with your boy.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you want any more information on all the shows that we have, the shows that Eric mentioned, and merchandise and everything, we have a website, EarzUp-podcast.com. And once again, patreon.com/EarzUp. Come support the show. Really appreciate it. You get a ton of content from the last 13 years or whatever since we've been around. So it'll fill up your MP3 player, your Zune. All right, everybody, thanks a lot once again. And until next time, we'll see you in the parks.